My name is Kim Menounos. I'm with the Fraser Basin Council and I'm a core committee member on the Nechako Watershed Roundtable. The Nechako is a part of the Upper Fraser watershed. It's an enormous area covering over 47,000 square kilometers. The Nechako watershed includes the Nechako River main stem and the Nechako Reservoir. It also includes the Upper Nechako watershed, Takla Lake, Tromberler Lake, Stewart Lake, and the Stewart River. The Nechako Watershed Roundtable was established in 2015 to bring together the collective voices in the watershed, working together toward the common goal of the long-term health of the watershed. Like much of BC, the Nechako watershed is a very diverse place. It's home to multiple municipalities, 15 First Nations, 2 regional districts, and the membership of the Roundtable includes all of these along with academia, local governments, private sector, public sector, and civil society. The Nechako Watershed Roundtable also recognizes that there is an enormous diversity amongst the people, the communities, the industries, the impacts in the watershed. And a collective goal like health of the watershed is one that we can all get behind and that will help all of us to meet our other goals.
In 2009, it looked like this. There was 0 trees and the stream wasn't functioning anymore. Nothing's thriving in here. The banks were all crushed by cows and cattle. What we did is we reconstructed it using coarse woody debris, large trees that are there. We put some rocks in some strategic places, and we created an opportunity for the stream to bounce back and forth and meander through. So it creates the maximum amount of habitat. We've actually moved Chinook fry right up into this area, and inside the riparian zone, we have schools of little fish that are thriving. Salmon are a preferred diet of the Nechako white sturgeon, and so we kind of fill that whole cycle all the way through.
The Nechako watershed has been heavily impacted by resource extraction, agriculture, industrial development, hydroelectric generation over many, many generations. So we're dealing with the impacts of that now, and now we're seeing extensive wildfire and impacts of climate change. Those impacts are being seen on salmon populations. We're seeing very low returns on salmon. The Nechako white sturgeon is an endangered species in the river.
The Nechako white sturgeon population is hugely affected by the state of the ecosystem and the state of the Nechako watershed as a whole. Kenny Dam caused a lot of issues for sturgeon and a lot of issues for other fish populations, and we see those connections every day, and that's part of the reason we're working collaboratively within the watershed. The Nechako Watershed Roundtable is being supported by staff within the Nechako White Sturgeon Conservation Center, obviously by my involvement, working in both places, and then we have remained a member of the Roundtable for the last few years, and so the collaboration and active efforts from the community and the watershed to preserve the Nechako White Sturgeon is an effort that we can all kind of resonate with, especially in the region. They've been around much longer than we have been around, and so it's incredibly important that we don't let the environment down, the ecosystem down, the watershed down by letting their population disappear. Youth release sturgeon at the Riverside Park annual release every year, and I'm watching kids come back and look for their pit tag to see if their sturgeon has been eaten by a river otter or is surviving in the river. And it's an incredibly important interaction to not only preserve the species, but connect youth to where they're from and their sense of self.
Each member comes to the Roundtable to achieve something, and what they all have in common is that they seek the health of the watershed. They're a piece of it, their little piece, or the broader watershed, whatever their perspective is. One of the beautiful things about the Nechako Watershed Roundtable is that membership is open to anyone who wants to participate. It's a place where all of these ideas can be shared, so join us, visit our Facebook page. Engage, learn, share. As a collective, we have the potential to better understand our common goals, and ultimately, we want a better outcome for everyone.